All right. Now, in the book of Genesis, we're talking with chapter 1. There's some patterns here. And I want to show you 2 patterns. These are kind of interesting in terms of the patterns of Genesis 1, the days of creation. This is called the fiat fulfillment pattern. And here it is. See if you recognize this. It happens over and over again. Here's Genesis 1, the 7 days of Genesis. Do you remember this, the 7 days of Genesis? It always starts out, and God said, okay, and God said, there's an announcement. And God said, okay, so it starts out, and God said, that's an announcement. There's a command or a fiat. A command or a fiat. And God said, let there be what? Let there be light, okay, day 1. Let there be, a firmament above, separating the waters above and the waters below. Let there be dry ground, come up. Let the heavens, go sun, moon, and stars. And so let there be, God makes a command, and God said there's an announcement, then there's a command. Let there be, let's just use the first day. Let there be light, and then what's this? The fulfillment. God said, let there be light, and there was light. Okay, God said, let there be X. That's maybe another way to put it. X, that sounds too impersonal. It sounds like algebra class, but anyway, sorry. Let there be X, and there was what? X, okay? Whatever the, day of the 6 days. Then does God evaluate his own work? It's interesting. Does God evaluate his own work? After he's created, does he look back and evaluate it? He evaluates it, and God saw that the light, the sun, moon, and stars, whatever he was working on, he evaluates his work, and he saw that it was tov, that it was good, and he pronounces it good. And then there's the end of the day, and there was evening, and there was morning, day what? Day Y, okay? Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, okay? On the 7th day, God's evaluation was, on the 7th day, God rested, and God looked on the 7th day, and he saw everything that he had made, and that it was what? Very good, okay? Tov me'od, it was very good, okay? And so at the end, God reflects on the whole thing. It's very good. Now, by the way, do you remember seeing this pattern over and over again with every one of the days? So this is kind of a literary structure that each of the days is put in, and it's kind of neat. This is called the fiat fulfillment pattern. Now, the next one is actually how I remember the days of Genesis, okay? If I asked you what was on day 5, would you know just like that what's on day 5? Would you know that which was on day 4 and things? Okay, this is how I remember it. Do you know what was created on day 1? Okay, he said, let there be light was day 1. And what day was man created? 6. If you know the first and the 6th day, then you got all the other days, okay? And the second pattern I'll show you does this, okay? Oh, I skipped this stuff here. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 3 says, by the word of the Lord, the worlds were formed. And so it's talking about the power of God's word, his spoken word calling things into being. Psalm 33, 6 and 9, the creation by the word of his mouth. By the word of his mouth, God created. So God created speaking, and that's kind of an interesting thing with this fiat fulfillment. Now, here's the parallel day scheme. Now, this is really neat, and don't kind of get blown away. This is fairly easy. Okay, on day 1, God said, let there be light. There was light. On the parallel day in day 4, he makes the what? The light bearers. What would be an example of light bearers? Sun, moon, and stars. So on day 1, he makes the light. On day 4, he makes the light bearers. On day 2, he separates the waters above from the waters below. Now, what are the waters below? The oceans and things like that. What are the waters above? Like clouds and things like that, okay? So he separates the waters above and the waters below. On day 5, he makes the fish and the birds. Where do the fish inhabit? The waters below. Where do the birds inhabit? The waters above. So you get the birds and the fish going in the waters above and the waters below. On day 3, he makes the dry land. And on day 6, he makes the inhabitants. This should be inhabitants of the dry land. Who are some of the inhabitants of the dry land? Us, people. So he makes people and land animals, land critters. He makes land critters on the 6th day and us and on the day 3. So by the way, if you know land critters are made on day 6, us, and day 5 is the light. If you know day 1 is light, do you know what day 4 is? Yeah, it's the light bearers. If you know day 6, he makes the land critters, do you know what day 3 is, the dry land? And in the middle, you have the what? the waters above and the waters below, the fish and the birds. Do you see how that works? So it's, okay, I hope I'm not just dreaming here, but this makes it really easy. If you know the first and last day, then you kind of can reconstruct the rest of it. By the way, what day did I skip? The Shabbat. Okay, I skipped Shabbat, and it's the Sabbath day, and on Sabbath day, God rested. Question, did God rest because he was tired? No. Okay, he rested. Okay, God rested, and so the Shabbat is set up not just because of the person being tired, but God's does things on the day. Now, one other thing that I need to point out about this chart. Do you guys remember, Jack, in Genesis 1:2? And the earth was darkness and how should I say? The earth was tohu wavohu, was formless and empty. Do you remember the words with formless and empty, and darkness was upon the face of the day, and spirit hovered the world? The world was formless and empty. Do you see what these days do? On days 1, 2, and 3, these are days of forming. In other words, the earth was formless and empty. And what does God do? He takes the formless shape and he what? He forms that which was formless, and then he does what? He fills that which is empty. So these 3 days are days of filling, and these 3 days are days of forming. So that which was formless takes shape, takes form, and that which was empty gets filled. By the way, even with human beings, he tells human beings we are to be what? Fruitful and multiply and do what to the earth? Fill the earth. Okay, fill the earth. And so you get this forming and filling in the creation account and stuff. And I don't know, I just like this. This helps me to put the whole thing together. If I know the first day and the sixth day, I've got the rest of it. Okay? So just a parallel day structure kind of thing.